What's going on? I'm gonna be holding the mic right here on this video. I hope you guys don't mind that. Listen, we gotta talk about something. Passion and purpose. These are very important topics that if you live your life and you just go through your life without having any sort of regard for these things, you end up in a miserable place. And this comes from personal experience. The past couple of days have been pretty rough. I have severe stomach pains. I've been having the squirts, as they call it. Some people call it that. It's kind of gross, actually, and it hurts. I still have chronic stomach pains right now. Let me adjust you guys, hold on. I hate when the thing's unlevel. But yeah, man, I feel like we've all got a calling. We've all got our little calling. We've all got our purpose, and we've all got passions. Whether it be your calling, your purpose, or your passion, you've got one of these things instilled within you. It's ingrained within you. It's like a wood grain, you know? You ever seen a piece of plywood? And it has the grain of the trees, like the rings of the grains. It's ingrained within you. That's the way it runs. The grain runs this way, as opposed to the other way, or something like that. I don't know. The carpenters are talking smack at me right now in the comments, which is fine. But you've got a calling, and I don't even have to tell you what this calling is, because you already know what this calling is, and this is different for everybody watching this video. Hope this thing is pointing at my mouth. So whatever, whoa, it's kind of hot actually. So whatever that calling is for you, it is your duty to follow that calling. Call of Duty. That's your call. You got to make that call. Everybody's always talking about authenticity, about being yourself. Very, very, very true statements. And then you've also got the opposing hand. You gotta lock in. You gotta lock in. Brother, lock in, man. You're not locked in. If you're not locked in, how are you gonna do it? You need to be locked in. Again, from personal experience, I left high school. I'm 21 now, by the way. Some people say that I look way younger than I actually am. Other people say that I look funny. It's all good, I guess. I left high school and I got my first job, and I worked at a lumber mill. Not a lumber mill, a lumber yard, sorry. And in there I was just, doing my thing. I worked there for about, a month. I really wasn't there for that long. But yeah, I was there. I was just, loading up trucks with lumber, helping people with whatever materials and stuff that they needed. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Honestly, my first job was probably the best paying job I've had so far. Out of all of my careers, or whatever you want to call it, that was best paying job was the first one. So maybe I messed up in leaving that. But I also don't really regret leaving that job, even though it was the best paying job I've had. And now this is just personal belief. I believe a job is more than the money. A job is also the satisfaction you get. Not to say that this job wasn't that satisfying, but it wasn't something that I was crazy about. It was just toil work. There's always going to be things we don't want to do, and we have to get comfortable with the fact that you just gotta, you gotta get out there and you gotta do the thing. But I didn't really like that. And at the time, I used to think, man, I really love cars. I left that really good paying job at a lumberyard to go work at a tire shop, where I was making minimum wage, working full time. And that was probably not the best of ideas. I definitely did the opposite of prolonging the lifespan of my back with this job. I was making $15 and some change every hour. But every hour was the funniest. It was peak. It was like locker room talk the entire day. And yeah, it did get tiresome after a while. And some days sucked. Especially working in the rain. I hated that shit. But I liked it. I liked being with the boys. You know, I was with my crew. Though I didn't fit in that well, but I was with the crew. And we were all kind of like weird. I remember there was an old gay guy, and I didn't even know he was gay. And I'm not bashing on gay people, by the way, before people take this out of context. But there was a gay guy there, old gay guy. I didn't know he was gay until like 3 months before I left, and they were like, "Hey, you know that guy's hitting on you, right?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" They didn't actually say he was hitting on me, but you know, they were alluding to the fact that he was a homosexual, and I was like, dude, come on, don't say that. Like, not in a like it's bad to be gay way. Like, golly, you really have to be careful with media nowadays. Golly, let's lock out of that. But yeah, I don't know. It was a weird group in that tire shop for sure. I made some friends there. Again, it wasn't the best paying job. I had fun, but that was like the bridge of like, I enjoy this, but the pay is whack. The pay is shit, and there's better jobs out there. But am I gonna enjoy them as much? So I took this into account going into my next job. I quit that tire shop gig after I think I worked there for like a year. Worked there for like a year and a half. And after I worked this tire shop gig, I was like, all right, I'm done with the highly intensive manual labor stuff. Let me find something that's more relaxed on the body. I was on Indeed for a while, and I found a photography gig. It was just a stock photography job. You were taking pictures of Hondas. All right, buddy, go over here. You're going to take your iPhone. I have my old iPhone here, funny enough. Take your iPhone and then just go snap a few videos of some Hondas, a few Honda Civics, brother. Take some spins of them, upload them, and you're good, brother. That's your job. I'm a car guy, so for me, like, instantly, I was just like, yes, I'm gonna do that, and I get paid $20 an hour, which is better than minimum wage. Yeah, I'll take it. So I did that for a year. After a certain point, I found utter unfulfillment in that as well. The thing that mainly killed this job for me was the constant repetition, and anybody who's worked as a stock photographer will know what I'm talking about. Every day blends in with each other, and this is, most jobs, but I was working on my own. I didn't have any team or anything like that. It was just strictly me. If I really needed something, I would call my manager. Hey, dude, I need some, I don't know, dude, I need a charger or something. Now, I play music, and I actually have a little bass right here. Look at this. What's up with this guy? Look at that. You see that? We got a little jazz bass. Little jazz. Should I play something for you guys? Oh, stay right there. Oh, that's a little out of tune. So then I went on to gig and strictly make money off of music gigs for like half a year. I was playing every other weekend and weekdays, and I still had some money saved up on the back end from the previous job. So we were smooth sailing until the band started to split up. So then, due to circumstance, I had to get back out, and I had to look for another gig. I don't know why, but I was like, I was pretty good at that other photo gig, so I was like, let me try it again. So I kept looking, and I found something very similar, very close to where I live. And this time, I would be using a proper camera. Just a little Canon, little 6D. Now this thing is ancient by today's standards, but it's still quality enough to go out and shoot some, basic stock photos. Should really clean that lens. I might be selling this though, because I am no longer working as a photographer. Cool to have, but I really don't use it at all. So there's a Honda Accord just outside of downtown LA, and I took that photo. But due to massive layoffs and everything like that, I am no longer working there. So now I'm a carpenter guy. Not really though, I have no idea. And I'm just picking it up as I go. I've learned some things here and there, and it excites me. I've realized that I love working with my hands, as all of my jobs have mainly involved me moving around and doing something physically. So that's definitely a big part of how I am structured to work. There's a lot of technical little intricacies that go, like a lot of measurements, a lot of like, oh, you got to do this a certain way so that it lines up. So there is some skill behind it, and that's actually something that fascinates me, and I actually enjoy it a lot. Now, am I like crazy about it? No, but it's something that I'm picking up, and I think it's really good to know these skills if ever it is needed. For some reason, a bunch of little evil dudes like snuck into my property, and they just started tearing the walls down. So now I gotta install some new studs. I know how to do that now. That's cool. But what I've realized is that the calling that's always been there but has been neglected has been this. Because I've always had videos up. I've always made videos since I was a child. I was one of the OG tablet kids. I was first generation tablet kid. My brother bought me a tablet, and I would record on that thing. I would make stop motion films of my Hot Wheels. I actually have a Hot Wheel right here. So just imagine this, stop motion. It would just be like this. Seeing my thoughts be conceptualized and brought into the world through video was something that I've always loved. And that's regardless as if it was to be shown to others or if it was just to be for myself. Like I just recorded myself riding my bike. I made OG POV videos of riding my bike because I saw people like when the old school GoPros were out, you know, you would just see the freaking footage, like people were doing crazy stunts on their mountain bikes. So naturally, you know, I got my tablet and I and I duct taped it to the handlebars on my bike, and I recorded this. Very chopped, and I would make my own little ramps out of old 2x4s and old pieces of plywood that we had laying around. I would jump my bikes off of those, and it was the coolest shit ever. You know, you don't appreciate this stuff as a kid, but once you get older, you're like, damn, I really had it all. No one else can do what God has assigned for you. That's a job that you've got to see through. That's a job you've got to complete. That's where the whole locking in thing comes into play, and I say it a lot. Usually I say it jokingly. Whenever you hear me say you gotta lock in, please don't ever take me serious when I say you gotta lock in. It's only like a 5% of the time when I actually say that 100% truthfully. You gotta lock in. You gotta lock in. To what do you gotta lock into? To whatever pyramid scheme is up next? To whatever way we can exploit the work of others so that we can garner better success? Now, I don't want to sound like a person who believes in like, oh, dude, Elon Musk is responsible for giving us all like $1,000 or something like that. No, this guy's trying to build rockets, bro. Like, let him do his thing. He's trying to get us to Mars. I don't think we should like slow him down in that sense. And I just pointed out Elon because he's like a rich guy. But it would be ignorant to say that there is no malice in the world, that there is no, the clock, hold on. It would be ignorant to say that there is no malice in the world or that there is no people that are like that. There's wolves within the sheep, and that's all they want. They want to, inside of you, there are two wolves, and they're both making out. But, like, in all seriousness, like, there's wolves, and they're going to take advantage of whatever they can. You gotta lock in, brother. You gotta lock in. You're not locked in, bro. That's not why it's not working out. You know, it's hard to have an obsession of locking in when it's not your calling, when it's not your purpose, when it's not your passion. Because that's very cucky, don't you think? Like, oh, let me lock in. To what, though? Let me lock into David Goggins' routine. David Goggins says, let me run 1,000 miles or 100 miles a day. I gotta lock into his routine. That's a little cucky, don't you think? As a guy, Like, you gotta have your philosophy around life and how you yourself live life. That doesn't mean you can't take inspiration from others. It's good that David Goggins can run 100 miles a day, or whatever he does. I heard somewhere, this might be fake news, because fake news is everywhere. I don't know where I was going. This might be fake news, because, fake news is prevalent nowadays, but I heard somewhere that David Goggins had some issues with his family member. Like, I don't know, I heard he abandoned one of his kids. I don't know, dude. I don't know. That might be fake. Don't pay attention to that. I think God instills that calling within us, like, from a very young age. But you learn it later in life, and then you're like, oh, dude, now I see it. But you gotta kind of, like, look into your younger self and see, like, not everything, because, I definitely did some stuff but, like, what was I thinking, dude? Whatever it may be, whatever your calling is. I know for me it's this, and I'm thankful that I've been presented with this fact now, so I don't have to, bounce around it. Because I made videos as a child, I made them as a teenager, and I'm still making them now. But only now have I received the enough, like, oh, dummy, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like, only now have I realized that this is what gets the fire going. This is what, fuel. Like that Metallica song. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Some real stuff right there. But yeah, man, whatever it is. Like, if you want to make the best hand soap in the world, and that's what it is, then do it. Lock into that. Not whatever David Goggins thinks. Jocko Willens, or whatever his name is. Andrew Tate. Doesn't mean you can't take inspo from them. You can Pinterest the guys for sure, but don't like lock into their ideas. Lock into your own ideas. But yeah. By the way, new channel. I have another channel where I post stupid stuff that I actually do, like car stuff. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link for that channel in the description below. Otherwise, sub it up on this one, and yeah, I'll check you guys later. See ya.